saints I come from Venezuela.
Coming up over there. Okay. Let the black fly in.
I think they've seen all of us.
No, but you can say it once you're in the say, I'll come out with you. You understand?
Exit over there to your right.
Yeah, let them in.
I don't know. All would be a nice. Why don't we just go to the window?
Act like a lady.
Why don't we go?
And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So, first of all, Eve had a last-minute emergency, so she won't be joining us tonight, but she will be back for the next stream. And we wish Eve all the best to her and her loved ones. And I know she will be watching this, so Eve, all the best to you.
The one thing about Eve not joining today is that it's going to save me some money, Nadine, because every time Eve shows records, I end up spending money. So it doesn't hurt to have a month off where I'm a little bit better off financially, you know?
The thing is, before we did the streams, I was never really into new kind of soul. And so that's why the combination of the three of us is for me just like perfect, because she brings in the new flavor, which I always thought is not my cup of tea. But I'm like, okay, I need to buy this one. I need to, that sounds, I never knew that sounded so good. Okay, I need to have that one. So, yeah.
That sure shows good stuff. So, so next month gives me a month off buying more stuff.
Yeah, so she has to bring out the big guns next month.
That's right, yeah.
The real big grails. All right, we had a themed stream. So the audience from last time requested a kind of themed thing, which I thought was kind of challenging. But when I really thought about it, it was actually quite easy.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if we've picked some of the same same people as well. But let's see how we get on.
I tried to be very creative.
Oh, right. I haven't. No, I've gone for the absolute obvious, you know, so hence why I've got piles of records around me, you know, so.
All right. So the theme was producers of the 70s, or kind of famous producers. And, well, do you want me to start?
You start, Nadine. Absolutely, yeah. You start.
Okay, I choose, hold on, I need to pick all the records. I choose Brad Shapiro.
Okay.
He did. Yes, they're signed. He did Millie Jackson, a lot of Millie Jackson.
Yeah.
And this is, for me, one of the greatest concept albums ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thread in itself, a discussion itself. Great soul concept albums, but that is a brilliant record. Yeah.
That is, I love this. I love this record. Jackie Moore.
Yep.
He also did Jackie Moore. He did Facts of Life, which was a side project by Millie Jackson.
I don't have that record. I've never heard that.
Yeah. So you're not watching my videos. Okay.
No, I don't own it.
Yeah, no. So that was a side project by Millie Jackson, and she's also singing a guest part on that record, and she produced them. And that was in the time in 1973, 1974 when she got really, really big.
Yeah.
So they had a follow-up album, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Now I've heard the follow-up record, but I've never heard that one.
Yeah, I think that's the best one. The first one from them is the best one. That's a great one. Of course, Still Caught Up. You know what I never understood? The fake applause on the record.
So did you sign that yourself just before we sort of started doing the stream, Nadine, or was it actually a Millie Jackson signature you got there?
No, it's not really drive, you know.
I love those records. I love Caught Up and Still Caught Up. They're brilliant soul records, and I suppose for years I've caught myself saying those are the only two Millie Jackson albums that you need, and that's absolute rubbish because I've only realised this quite recently, but I picked up a couple of her albums from the mid-70s, and they're just as good. Brilliant records. And I think perhaps what sort of gave me that sort of opinion was some of the stuff in the 80s I'm not as keen on. You know, I don't like the cover art and all that sort of stuff. It just put me off. But those 70s records, they're great, really good.
Yeah, she was getting, you know, Millie Jackson could have it all, the biggest career you can think of, but she decided to be like, okay, I tell it like it is. Yeah. And that pretty much ended. But these records are just awesome. And he also, Brandy. Oh, wait, it's not dried yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there you go.
Brandy is one of the leading vocal groups of the 70s. There were Johnny Taylor, Disco Lady, that sang the backing vocals on it. They sang with James Brown like everybody. So, and I would say we make a little needle drop. What I've learned from the last times is don't make it too long, because this could lead up to being suspended. And so I choose a tune from this record, which is actually not so much known, but I love it. You Never Cross My Mind. Let me find it. Never. Yeah, there it is. With Isaac Hayes. I mean, Roy Rapin. It's not so much, you know, it's great, but not so very much my cup of tea. But so let's see how we do this. Hold on a second. All right.
Today is gonna go, but you never cross my mind. Though I cry from time to time. No, you never cross my mind. You just stay there all the time. I got a letter from you. You promised me you weren't gonna do that.
But from time to time, my eyes find your picture. The very one I forgot to put away. Just another memory trying to make me miss you. And I find one more reminder every day. But you never cross my mind. Though I cry from time to time. No, you never cross my mind.
All right.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, they're a perfect partnership, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wendy and Isaac, absolutely. I got really big then. That really scared me then, that did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Me too. I've learned today that there's a new word in the vinyl community, which is called VC+. Right. Have you heard that, John? VC+?
No, not at all, no, not at all.
That's people who are oversized in the vinyl community.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I thought, well, yeah. John, I have a question, because how did you come up with making a YouTube channel? Because actually for a long period of time, long period of time, you were one of the only ones who had a soul, funk, reggae.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So the reason why I started doing my own videos was because I started watching YouTube videos, and not necessarily just soul. I was watching Secca Funk, obviously a great funk channel, absolutely high end stuff, but other stuff as well. Zeke the Vinyl Geek. Yeah, quite a few of it. And this was about 2013, 2014. And what happened was I went to America, I went to Colorado, and I tried to get hold of Zeke the Vinyl Geek, Zach. And I sent him a few messages. And clearly, he didn't have a clue who I was. So he's just got this random guy who's obviously seen his videos, trying to get hold of him, saying, do you want to go visit some record shops, whatever, go digging, whatever. So, of course, I didn't get anywhere, he didn't come back to me, whatever. So, which is fair enough, totally get that. So I thought, well, the only way that I'm gonna sort of overcome that is by doing my own channel. And it's hard sitting down for the first time in front of a camera or a phone or whatever you're making a video on, sort of thing. It's really embarrassing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so and that's what I did. So I started making, obviously, the records that I buy are soul and funk and reggae records. So I made just videos about what records I was buying. That was it. And yeah, but I mean, there's some massive VC channels. I mean, I've been making videos now for about 7 or 8 years. I don't know how many subscribers I've got, whatever, but it tends to be the same people that watch my videos. I think for the first 5 years, I've probably got 100 new subscribers every year, and I was chuffed with that. I was happy with that. I don't have 20,000 viewers. I had like 500 viewers. I'm like, wow, that's incredible, But the main thing is that anybody that I got in touch with, and I've met a lot of VC people over the years, at least people knew who I was. They knew that I was a genuine bloke, and I wanted to go record shopping with them. So it's cool.
Yeah, and you were kind of inspiration for me to start my channel.
Oh right.
So
wow.
you were always my kind of idol. Like, wow, this guy is doing exactly the music I like. And you had also, I'm not into reggae, but you had these reggae collection with the singles you got from a shop. I was like, wow, that's some really great stuff on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will actually get onto reggae in a little while, Nadine. You might be upset by that, but one of the producers I'll be talking about, you might hear about that. But yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, I just, there's so many great channels in the VC. I know I just saw Rob Walker's comment here that I don't watch any VC channels. I do, Rob. I just don't watch yours. No, I do watch Rob's channel, and I've met Rob a few times. But yeah, it's great, and you learn something new every day. It's brilliant.
Yeah, Rob has I like Rob's kind of humor. Yeah, not everybody understands it, but he has a very fast mind.
Yeah, typical Northerner.
So Black Moses. Yeah, somebody wrote about Black Moses. I love this album. I love the version of You've Lost That Loving Feeling from Isaac Hayes on Black Moses. That was just awesome.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you have Black Moses in your collection, John?
Yes, yeah.
Also with the...
I only bought a vinyl copy of it, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I had it on CD for years. But yeah. Yeah, I actually bought my copy of on CD from the Stax Museum in Memphis. So I've still got the CD, but yeah, I found a vinyl copy, because you can get a single vinyl copy and you can get a double. Double, I think probably from Record Fair or something like that a few years ago, but yeah, cool. Look,
you were for other people also a big inspiration.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lawrence, he knows his stuff. He really knows his stuff, so anything you want to know about reggae or Latin music especially, yeah, so yeah, very cool. I mean, quite often I watch Lawrence's videos and I don't have a clue about any of the records that he's showing, but he does needle drops at the end and you learn so much. It's cool. Really good.
Never Can Say Goodbye. Also great tune.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant.
Hello, Michael. Thanks for dropping by. All right, John. I'm so eager.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight down the middle, play with a straight bat. This is Curtis Mayfield, right? So Curtis Mayfield is probably one of my favourite artists. Well, absolutely, and certainly one of my favourite producers. And the thing that really strikes me about Curtis's records, his productions, is that he's so good at producing vocalists. You know, his own vocal style is very delicate because he sings in that falsetto. And it's amazing how often, you know, you say that delicate vocal style, it's surrounded by so much music. You think about his debut album with stuff like Move On Up and such like, you know, there's so much going on. It's a great dancer, but he's got this very delicate vocal over the top. But you never lose that vocal in amongst everything. It sounds fantastic. And it's the same, you know, he produced people like Gladys Knight. So Gladys Knight, for example, she did the Claudine soundtrack in the mid-70s. And one of my favourite versions of one of his songs is The Makings of You. I think that her version of that song is better than Curtis's. And I like that about his catalogue as well, that he quite often reuse songs. So, you know, you might do a version with an artist and then record it himself, you know, such as Hard Times, you know, the Baby Huey tune, which is, you know, how we all know it. But of course, that was then he reworked that himself on his own album. And, you know, when he was producing Gladys, he threw in The Makings of You, which is a brilliant song, a beautiful song. But I really love her vocal. She's one of my favourite vocalists, actually, full stop. You know, she's you know, just an incredible voice. But I do think her version is better than Curtis's. But the other one as well is Aretha Franklin. I know we keep sort of threatening to talk about Aretha, just picking out our favourite Aretha songs or Aretha albums. And he made 2 albums.
I know what's coming up. I know what's coming up.
Yeah, no. So obviously, first of all, Sparkle. This was a massive hit in the mid-70s. I think there's like 2 or 3 big singles off this. But I mean, I suppose you got 2 great artists here. And Aretha, we all know, she knew how to use her voice probably better than any other soul vocalist ever, you know, pop vocalist, whatever you want to call it, you know. But the way that she layers her vocal on the title track is just incredible. And yeah, again, that's a Curtis production. But the album by her, which perhaps gets a little bit unnoticed, is Almighty Fire. I think this is from 78. Yeah, 78. This, if you don't have this, is a cheap record. Both of these records, you'll pick them up for less than a tenner each, you know. And this is the one that I'd recommend because the opening track is just absolutely killer, you know. And again, Curtis Mayfield production. She knows what she's doing, Aretha, doesn't she? You can't go wrong with Aretha, full stop.
Come on.
But yeah, just brilliant records and cheap as well. And this is the thing about collecting soul music. It can be incredibly expensive. You know, if you were just starting out buying soul records now, you can listen to people talking about whatever, and you could be spending ridiculous amounts of money. But there's so many great cheap soul records because they sold so many copies. You know, Aretha Franklin always sold records, you know, because she's Aretha Franklin, you know, one of the greatest vocalists ever, you know, she always sold records. So you can get her records for, you know, between £5 and £10. Obviously, I'm talking in UK money, whatever. But yeah, and they're easy to find as well. It's cool.
Did you know that Sparkle was originally offered to Carolyn Franklin?
Was that right? Okay, I didn't know that.
So Curtis got somehow in touch with Carolyn, and she heard the songs, and Aretha heard the songs, and her the father, the pastor, what was this? Pastor Franklin.
Yep.
Had to convince Carolyn to not do it and leave the record to Aretha.
Right, oh, blimey. I mean, that's a bit unfortunate for Carolyn, isn't it? But it's
absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, other artists he produced as well, such as the Staple Singers as well. You know, they had I think Let's Do It Again was an American #1, was it, in the mid-70s? You know, so, you know, a massive hit. Maybe Staples is my favorite vocalist ever, you know, so I don't think you can go wrong with Mavis. But that album, it's obviously a blaxploitation soundtrack. It's a soundtrack to the film. But yeah, I mean, it's just a brilliant record again, you know, produced by Curtis, sung by the Staple Singers. I mean, what more do you want? You know, it's brilliant. So, and again, you probably get it for about £5, you know, fantastic. Yeah. But I've got pretty much all of Curtis's albums here, and you know, you've got that obvious period where you've got Curtis, Superfly, Back to the World, these really big albums that everybody knows. Roots is another one. But when you get through sort of his catalogue, perhaps some of the later albums are a little bit more inconsistent, but they all include brilliant songs. And again, you know, we rework songs again and again. And yeah, so you mentioned Linda. We were talking before, you know, before the show started, whatever. And you're talking about Linda Clifford being a soul show that you're going to. Now, obviously, this album that you made with Linda Clifford, this duets album, it's not perfect. You know, it's not a perfect soul album. You know, his earlier records are better. But the version they did together of Ain't No Love Lost is brilliant. You know, this album you'll get for less than £5. And, you know, if you see it, buy it, because it's worth it for that one song. It's brilliant, you know. And, you know, perhaps the way we all buy music is slightly different. But, you know, if it's a Curtis album or he's involved in it and it's got at least one great tune on it, I'm buying it, you know. So, yeah, it's cool. Brilliant.
What kind of song do you want me to play from Curtis?
Yeah, so you might as well play that song. No, actually, no. Let's go with an Aretha song. Go with Almighty Fire, the title track.
All right.
Perhaps something that people might not know.
All right, so. Okay, unfortunately, I need to stop. I would have played the whole song just for her outfit alone.
I've never seen that clip before. That's brilliant. Look at that spacey outfit. I love that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
like you know, like the ladies who sang Lady Marmalade.
Yeah.
They had the same kind of.
But just look at, I mean, obviously that sang live there. So look how effortless that vocal is by Aretha. She's not even trying, is she? You know,
no.
So I mean, if it's a competition, it's just not fair, you know, because it's just too easy for her, isn't it? It's brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, she's just you know, I've seen when it came out, Amazing Grace in the cinema. It was really finally released a couple of years ago, and I was like stunned, you know. And at some part, I was crying, and I'm not usually one who cries in music, but I was.
The thing that first of all got me with that is that I've got the album Amazing Grace, and so the film started with the track Holy Holy. And it was absolutely, you know, it's proper hairs on the back of the neck stuff. It was wonderful, you know, incredible vocal. On the album, I think that's buried sort of halfway during side 2 or something like that. I mean, how, you know, they started the film with it and it just worked perfectly. I mean, why they didn't do that with a record, you know, God knows. But yeah, what a performance that is. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was, I mean.
She had a great band then as well, you know, so Bernard Purdie on drums, you know, Jerry Drummond on bass, Cornell Dupree on guitar, you know, that sort of Atlantic band, they're brilliant, incredible.
And Reverend Cleveland, who sang and did all the arrangement. I mean, he was.
Yeah, it's a great film, that is. Yeah, really good.
And I think, you know, if I had been in people's positions, you know, they did all the filming, Mick Jagger was in the audience, and like it never came out.
I know, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You know,
that they were able to get that done.
It's like the Questlove film that came out last year, The Summer of Soul. You I mean, how that sat in somebody's basement for 50 years, and the footage was just incredible. Stevie Wonder playing the drums at a gig. I mean, it's worth it just for that. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. There you go. Right. What have we got next?
All right. No, I keep the one for the last. Okay. If you are into 70s dance disco, you know Patrick Adams.
Okay.
He did an album called Careless.
Don't know that.
He also worked with Jocelyn Brown. He worked for Inner Life, which had Jocelyn Brown on the tracks. He worked with Wilson Pickett. He worked with many great artists. So Patrick Adams would be my challenge. So about this album, I love the music on this album, but the singers sometimes were like, oh my God, how could this happen? But it's actually, he did some brilliant recordings, and I think we need, if I find it on YouTube, it's Caress on the what is the pop label. So we will see. What do we play? I think we play the first track, Opportunity, from this album. Let me see if I find it. I find out that some stuff I'm hearing is not available on YouTube. But that's a great track. I love it.
But your love, I only refuse. I said your love I couldn't use. I had other dreams, let you walk away from me. Yes, you did now, baby. Soon I realized I was not right. Never should have said goodbye. You were my life, you were the reasons why. Hey, girl, what do you want me to do? Well. Or didn't you know I had made plans for two, and that was me and you, baby. Opportunity only comes one time, and when it comes, you better open your door. Opportunity only knocks once, and when it knocks, it may not knock no more. Now the tables are turned, I find I'm alone. I need your company. There is no hope, my dreams have gone up in smoke. Ooh, baby, my baby, if you're willing to try.
I love this track.
I've never heard that song before. That's brilliant.
Caress, Patrick Adams. Good luck finding it.
Is it an expensive record?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why I haven't found that record, is because my pockets clearly aren't deep enough.
I got it cheap. I got it really.
Fair play to you if you did. Brilliant.
So I got it cheap. I've seen copies of this going for $100. I got it for 20, and it's an original.
Wow, brilliant.
Yeah. So it was one of the record fairs in the Netherlands when you're going through the bins, and sometimes the dealers don't change the boxes, and they have that for 5 years in the box, and nobody really cares about. So I got really lucky.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
We'll have a look for that though, because that sounded great. But I've never heard that before. Yeah,
that's great. Patrick Adams did so many danceable things in the 70s. He had also many groups like Musique and some kind of groups where I thought they were kind of Euro disco, but it was produced actually in America, got famous up here.
Yeah.
So I like him. I like him a lot.
So from your point of view, Nadine, is it more disco that you look for rather than funk or soul? Is it predominantly disco that's your?
It's more disco. It's more danceable disco.
Okay.
So yeah, considering we hope also that Eve is getting better, and I'm sure she will be there on the next time. So thanks for asking. I love his cheesy Bumblebee Unlimited record. I never heard of the Bumblebee Unlimited record.
I don't know that either.
All right. So what else do we have? We have found Preak at Coastal Washington Flea Market, surrounded by yeah. Sometimes you really need to be lucky. And yes, music was also one of Patrick Adams' projects, and he really was into the dance genre. And I don't get the fact that so many stuff he did is not being used on house music. Like in Alive, they did a fantastic version on Ain't No Mountain, which was also been remixed by Larry Levan from the Paradise Garage. Awesome. Oh, I need to show you this. Hold on.
Has this got a signature on it, Nadine?
Yeah, sure. It's got a signature.
You do it just to wind me up. Brilliant.
1985 album also up here, which is also signed by her.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a tune. I love that song.
Awesome. And you know, the great thing is she wrote that all by herself, you know. So finally she got she's a great songwriter, and she lives, when I sent her the record, she lived in the UK.
Oh, does she? I saw her there's a jazz, soul, funk and jazz festival about 3 miles from where I live every July, and she played there a couple of years ago, and yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah, I wonder where she's in the UK, but yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so it's a really good festival actually, Nadine. Yeah, really good. Right, shall I show some records?
Yes, go ahead.
So mine, as I say, all of my three are incredibly obvious, but I'm going with George Clinton because I think probably as a producer, other than Prince, I'd say I own more George Clinton produced records than anybody else, you know. So so whether that be Funkadelic or Parliament, or you know the whole P-Funk, you know, whatever, you know, the whole sound. I love it all, and he's involved in a lot. And it's interesting. I suppose one of the questions you got to ask is, what does a producer actually do? What's their purpose? You know, so there's some producers where they have their own sound. So when an artist works with them, the reason why they want to work with them is because they want to sound like that sound. So Phil Spector, for example, anybody that was produced by Phil Spector, you know, he pretty much threw the kitchen sink at it. People wanted the Phil Spector sound. George Clinton, despite his name being producer on all of these records, the Parliament Funkadelic records, and a lot of the offshoots as well, you know, the individual things like the Bride of Funkenstein and Parlay and stuff like that. You know, I see him more as a ringleader. You know, just geeing people along, bringing people in. He's not necessarily totally controlling everything, but he's the one who's with the creative ideas and just letting everybody do their thing and chip in. Now, you know, I think there's something like 150 odd musicians performed on Parliament albums or Funkadelic albums over the years. It's incredible, you know. So he's the opposite of a control freak, you know. So clearly Prince has been was massively influenced by George Clinton. Not only through his sound, but he also had that thing where you had lots of other groups, using the same sort of sound as Prince, that Minneapolis sound, which he produced and he recorded. But in all of those situations, he was totally in control. In most albums, he performed everything. He produced, he wrote, he sang. Even the bands like The Time and The Family and such like, he was still doing all the music. It was all him, with little bits added. George Clinton was the opposite. He just got anybody in that wanted to perform with them, sort of thing. I say 150 odd musicians on Parliament records. It's ridiculous. Now, this is a bit of an example of that. So,
hold on, I'll make you.
Right. Okay. So this is the 1979 album, I think. Uncle John Wants You. An absolutely fantastic sleeve there, one of the only sleeves up to this point which wasn't designed by Pedro Bell, but although he did the back, you can see there. But Yeah,
But everybody in the 70s was kind of sitting in these chairs. I have like,
you know, the Huey Newton chair, but this was something that was put out around the same time. I know you can see that. Oh. So this is basically a flexi disc that came out with some original music on it.
wow.
And the idea is that you get the flexi, you go away and you record yourself singing whatever lyrics, whatever melody you want, and you send your cassette off to Uncle Jam or you know, George Clinton as it was, and they basically decide who the winner is, and you get a recording contract, a 25 grand recording contract. Runner-up gets a load of stereo equipment, as does a third and fourth place, you know. So this just really highlights the fact that, you know, he wasn't precious about what he was doing at all, you know. So he was just trying to get everybody involved and everybody on the same page as him. And, you know, coming out with all these wonderful P-Funk records. Now, I've got about 30 P-Funk records just sitting next to me here, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's loads, you know, Bootsy Collins or Fuzzy Haskins or Eddie Hazel, Bunny Worrell. They all made their own records and went off on tangents, some of which he was involved with, some of which is credited as executive producer rather than producer, but still, it all sort of stems from George Clinton and his sound. You know, everything is on the one, you know. So, but yeah, brilliant. I love these records. And the interesting thing as well, I mean, I read his autobiography. It came out of that about, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, something like that. All of these records have a theme, you know. So you might not necessarily be evident when you first dip into it, but when you look a bit more closely, you can see, you know, for example, this one. This is Parliament versus the Placebo Syndrome. So this is that you won't like this, Nadine. So this is basically Parliament against consumerism, and his point is that disco was for the consumers. It's just a diluted version of funk. So this is funk fighting back, you know. So but every album had that same thing on, you know. So a different theme, you know, and it's fantastic. I'm just going through records. I'm trying to find under the Parliament record, but
I'm really impressed by the condition. Yeah, I mean, they're, you know, 40, 50 plus years old, and they look, when you show them on the camera, like
yeah,
mint.
well, I've got Paul here, but some of them are original. So we got Eddie Hazel here. You know, what a great album that is. You know, his version of California Dreaming. I mean, it's an incredible record. There are some reissues in here though, Nadine. You know, so my favourite P-Funk record is Mothership Connection. Came out in '75. I think my copy's from about 2000. You know, I'm sure that I'll come across an original at some point, but this sounds great. And this is an absolutely brilliant record, you know. So, I mean, just look at it. Look at him enjoying himself there, you know. Brilliant. There you go. So, yeah, brilliant.
It looks like he had way too much burritos or Mexican food.
Maybe. That may be the case. Oh, yeah. So, you want to play?
Yes, sure, I want to play. Hold on.
Right, okay.
What do you want me to play?
Right, so go with the opening track on Mothership Connection. P-Funk Wants to Get Funked Up.
Wants to get funked up. Yeah. Who doesn't?
Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known as We Funk, or deeper still, the Mothership Connection, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, uncut funk, the bomb.
Coming to you directly from the mothership. Top of the chocolate Milky Way. 500,000 kilowatts of P-Funk power. So kick back, dig, while we do it to you in your eardrums. For me, I'm known as Lollipop Man, alias the long-haired sucker. My motto is, make mine the P-Funk. I want my funk uncut. Yeah, make my funk the P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the P-Funk. Yeah. Yeah, WEFUNK, y'all.
Now, this is what I want y'all to do. If you got faults, defects, or shortcomings, like arthritis, rheumatism, or migraines, whatever part of your body it is, I want you to lay it on your radio. Let the vibes flow through. Funk not only moves, it can remove. Dig? The desired effect is what you get when you improve your interplanetary functionship. Sir Lollipop Man, chocolate-coated freaking habit form. Doing it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Once upon a time called now. Somebody says they're funk after death. I say it's 7-Up. Yeah. P-Funk. Uncut funk. P-Funk. Uncut. I want the bomb. P-Funk. Make mine the meat. Wants to get funked up. Make mine the P-Funk. Make my funk the P-Funk. EFUNK, y'all. Don't step on my funk. Woo, take it home. Yeah, I dig. Let me put my sunglasses on. That's the law around here. You got to wear your sunglasses so you can feel cool. Gangsta lean. Y'all should dig my sunroof top.
All right, we do stuff. The thing is, we never know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that sounded great. I love that
Yeah,
song.
I love it. Great selection, John, so far. All right, so my turn. Actually, when the question came up in the last stream, please do a stream about producers, I had someone in mind. But this someone was mostly an arranger. And he was called the Fixer. So if they knew they had a song but really couldn't work around, he made it possible. And then I thought, holy cow, I can't use him. But then I found in my collection a record he produced. So I think I'm very much done with it. I'm talking about the great H.B. Barnum.
Oh, they're all signed as well, aren't they, Nadine?
That's, of course. You wanna see you want to see a picture of me and him? Hold on.
No, not at all. I don't want to see it. It just upsets me.
All right, he was called the Fixer because he was able to make out of some songs very good songs, and he did most of the things he did. He was a songwriter, composer, singer because he had quite a few records on his own. This is his first album. This is his, I think, third album, and but these are late 50s, early 60s albums, and they're just awesome. Don't need to tell you how happy he was, John, when he saw that I was having these albums. And he produced, and that's my way out card, he produced The Night, which is also hardly known. It's an okay record. It's an okay record. It's not like I'm totally freaking out, but it's
I don't know that record. I don't know that at all.
Oh, we play a track on it. It's like I said, it's an okay album. It's not like something I would wow, but it's an okay album. But mostly he did the arrangements for people like Johnny Bristol. Yeah. Hang On In There Baby. He made the arrangements for this.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great record. He
made arrangements also for Aretha Franklin.
So that's the record in between the two Curtis records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was actually he's one of the greatest arranger you can think of, and he was in a festival in the UK, actually in Blackpool. Hold on for just a minute. I'm showing you. Hold on. I'm showing you guys a picture. Hold on. I get that done. So because some people say that I'm signing the stuff myself, so that's me and HB after I waited around 8 hours in front of a shitty entrance to get him, and this is when he signed the record.
That's some great Photoshop there, Nadine.
Yeah, I tried. I had just a short period of time. So I really did my best. Actually, it was my uncle, but not my father, but
That's a brilliant photo. Just look how happy you look. Look how happy you look there in that picture.
Yeah, but actually he's one of the mostly known for his arranging things. But he did. Johnny Bristol had the thing that he said, okay, I have Hang On In There Baby. I know it's a hit, but actually I don't get it really that it sounds like a hit. So he brought in HB to make it work.
Yeah, so Lawrence Mellow 414 just mentioned that he did a great Spanky Wilson record, which I've got the reissue of. It was reissued a couple of years ago. What a brilliant record that is. Fantastic. Yeah.
Actually, Spanky Wilson, I needed to get used to her voice on certain things.
She put out an album, I don't know, probably about 15 years ago now. I think it was on True Thought Records. And it's a really good record, really good album, sort of modern soul. And her voice has held up really, so yeah, good stuff.
I have some records of her, but I'm not actually honestly not hearing them so often because I really have to get used to her voice. And at some point I was even thinking about selling them, but I re-listened to them and I thought, no, that they're not that bad. But okay, so let's have a look and let's watch some The Nights and let's see what kind of track we have there from that particular album. Give It to the Needy. Sounds good. Yeah. No, Love Knocked You Down. Maybe it's a ballad. Love Knocked You Down. So hold on. So we'll share that just a moment.
Now it's interesting because Lawrence has just put a comment there saying he did some stuff with David Axelrod as well. Now, I was going to pick David Axelrod as a producer, but I've never noticed the fact that he worked with Barnum as well. So I just wondered which records he worked on.
Love knocks you down. You got a TKO for fooling around. And when you drop your guard, love knocks you down. Girl, when I told you I was the best thing for you, girl, you would not accept my love as a love. And now it hurts even more, knowing more pains in store. Love knocks you down. You got a TKO for fooling around. And when you drop your guard, love knocks you down. So you cry inside and you try to forget all the things I've said that you soon would regret. But now you're cold and alone because your heart is torn. Love knocks you down. You got a TKO for fooling around. And when you drop your guard, love knocks you down.
All right. Okay, someone's having a watch party, John.
Party.
Watch party. How cool is that? Awesome. Have watch parties on the stream.
That's cool.
All right. So that's where the Nights. You know, it's an okay album. It's somebody asked how expensive it is. It's around 10. I paid around 10 euros back in the day.
Yeah, I've never heard that record before. That's great. I've never heard that before at all.
Yeah, the Nights. The Nights.
So what year was that? Sorry, what year was that, Nadine?
I think it must be 78, but let me see. It was on ABC Records, and it was 1976.
Right.
1976, and yeah, it's a great group. Hold on, I make myself big. So, I was actually the guys up there from the Nights. I don't think that they did too much. I think there was just 1 or 2 albums they did, and this was actually produced by HB.
Yeah, nice. I like that. So, are you going to play a little bit of "Hanging in There, Baby" as well?
Of course, I play a little bit, but
I love that song.
Because I love that song also. But I'm pretty sure it's so sad. Do you know why YouTube is just suspending people playing these tracks? It's so sad. You know, you're doing also a lot of needle drops in your videos, and I'm always getting blocked. I need to cut.
No, I very rarely get blocked, fully blocked. You know, you get blocked in certain countries, but as long as it plays in the UK and the States, and as long as there's no, you know, sort of mainland Europe blocks either, you just go with it, sort of thing. It's just you tend to get blocks in China or Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, which, you know, what are you going to do? You can't sort of control that, I suppose. But yeah, you know, it's fine. You know, as long as you're not playing. There's some songs that always get blocked. So, "Light My Fire," I don't know who's got the copyright to that, but that always gets blocked. Whatever version you try and play with, it'd be Shirley Bassey, which is brilliant, or "Arrival," which is another brilliant version, or "The Doors," whatever, you know. But yeah, it's it always gets blocked.
Yeah, I remember the second stream we did, we got suspended, and I didn't know what the hell happened, you know, and I was like, what's going on? And I was getting messages, but after 2 minutes, we got that. I only get blocked in North Korea and Cuba. Okay. So, yeah. A classic. Done by HB, he arranged it. Pop of the pops.
Oh, look at that. I've never seen that before.
Hang in there, baby. We'll make love tonight. Don't be afraid. That'll make it all right. I know just how you feel. Gonna hold you tight. But we've almost got it made. Now that we've caressed, a kiss so warm and tender, I can't wait till we reach that sweet moment of surrender. We'll hear the thunder roar, feel the lightning strike, and what we both decided to meet, saying time tonight. Hang on in there, baby. Hang on in there, darling. I'm gonna give you more than you've ever dreamed possible. Don't be afraid, baby. Oh no, a sweet virgin of the world. We can't help but make it. Cause there's true love between us, girl. So let us touch that cloud that every girl dreams of. Oh, we're almost there, darling. We're truly making love. Hang on in there, baby. Please don't let me down. Please don't destroy this new joy we found.
All right. it's an evergreen.
Yeah, just what Ed said there on the chat. You can hear where Robert Palmer got influenced. Now I'm a big Robert Palmer fan. I love his records. So again, anybody looking to start collecting soul music, you know, we're looking at Blue Eyed Soul. Robert Palmer is as good as anything. You know, great voice, and you know, a lot of those early records is backed by the likes of the Meters or Little Feat. You know, fantastic records. But he's definitely got the same. You can tell that he's been listening to Johnny Bristol with his phrasing and such. Like, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, love Johnny Bristol. Great.
I love also Buddy Miles, and Buddy Miles was produced by Johnny Bristol, and it's just also fantastic. There's some fantastic records by Buddy Miles.
So Johnny Bristol, I think he's the only male voice to be heard, apart from the duet albums, of course, but on an actual Supremes single. He's the only voice, isn't he? I think it's Someday We'll Be Together.
That's him.
His vocals on there as well, yeah. So. But yeah, great vocalist. I know his mid-70s records of his are brilliant.
Our sound quality could be better. Well, Ivan, the thing is we are depending on YouTube clips, and if the YouTube sound quality is not so good, it's still better than John and me would be singing. Believe it.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
You wouldn't want that. So. All right. During the fact that Eve had the short-term emergency, we decided to present a bonus record we would recommend, or we just get new. And I would say, John, you may start.
Okay. Well, I've cheated a little bit, Nadine, because I've actually got 3 records, right? Because and I suppose part of the question is it comes down to condition as well. So every time you hold up records, they all look in fantastic condition. So you're clearly quite keen on making sure that things are in great nick and, you know, yeah?
Okay, the thing is, I do, you know, I'm not doing advertisement. Actually, when I get a record, I do clean the cover with lightning fluid, which you put in a lighter of a cigarette. I clean the covers with it. I have a record cleaning machine. And then I have sleeves from Vinyl Storage Solution. They're dual pocket sleeves. So I'm trying to take very good care of the record.
So right. So Nadine, right? So
but John, don't get fooled. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay,
I'll make it perfect. Let's have a look at Aretha. Come on. We need to be honest up here.
Okay, yeah.
Look.
That's okay. A little bit of edge wear, that's no problem at all.
No, you know, but it's not like I would say it's in perfect condition, but most of the records look like this.
Mint minus, yeah.
That's not mint minus, John. I've learned that you English guys grade different than everybody else. When I get into a store and it's like mint minus or near mint, I would like ask you if you wear too long in the pub.
Listen, it's either mint or mint minus. That's all you need to know. Right. So this, for example, what I'm going to show you now, Nadine, is mint minus. Right. So basically, there's a shop in Birmingham has had a load of probably 3,000 soul records in, you know. And initially, when these records arrived, you know, I turned up there and I realised what was going on. So I went through them all. I went through everything as quickly as I could because I was worried about other people getting the good stuff. If I'm honest with you,
sure.
You know, so that's what you do. You panic, don't you? I'm going through these records.
Sure, you panic.
100 miles, and I'm pulling out records left, right, and centre, and I gave them all to the guy. Nothing was priced; it only just come in. And you know, obviously, so the second record that I came across was a James Mason album, Rhythm and Life. You know, so and this thing was properly mint as well. It wasn't my mint, but it was properly mint. And so I'm just hoping he's going to put like a tenner on it or something. He didn't. But so I went through everything as quickly as I could and just pulled out whatever, you know, all the big hitters, the stuff that I've been after for a while, and I bought that. Okay, but over the last sort of 6 to 9 months, I've been gradually going through the others, you know, everything else again more slowly and picking out things that I didn't necessarily recognise. And this is a record, and I might not necessarily have picked it up, right? It might be big, yeah. I might not necessarily have picked it up, but quite helpfully, somebody had written on the cover, that it's funky. So I obviously knew that it'd be something that I like. So as you can see, this is Mint Minus. And yeah, but this is 1982. This is a band called Thunder Flash. The album's called Taken Them by Storm.
John, this is Mint. This is not Mint Minus. This is Mint. This is like new.
This is I think this is Mint Minus.
Yeah, okay.
I just wish that more people would write, what type of music is it on the cover, so that way, you know whether you're buying a reggae record or a funk record or a rock record. But yeah, it's a good record. 1982. It's sort of that sort of early 80s boogie sounds, and obviously this was obviously quite cheap because of the state of the cover. The record's in great condition, But yeah, Angelo, yeah, that's right. That's
you're grading
mint, nearly mint, but there you go. So if you want to buy Angelo, look on my Discogs later. Mint Minus. So there you go.
Okay, you know what? Let's have a listen. What were they called? Thunder.
They're called Thunder Flash.
Thunder Flash. Oh,
that's the first record to show you. Yeah.
Yeah. What track?
First track is called One Time to Learn.
One Time to Learn. All right. This can only be good.
Get yourself together. One time to learn, then get yourself together. Turn it around. And doing those things you do, don't you sense there's time for a change? One time. Oh yeah. It only takes one time. You better believe. One time. It only takes one time. Taking a chance, pushing your love to the end. Don't lose regard, you might lose a friend. And you better believe that's where our troubles begin. Learn to use a strategy. Pays to be more clever. It doesn't matter to me as long as you do it right. Why go through the same old thing? What joy could this possibly bring, baby? It pays to use some.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So the question is around condition. I suppose that's why I picked it out, Nadine. Is so if you saw that in a bin with the helpful, hang on, where am I? The helpful, grading there or the genre indication, would you pick that up?
Yes.
That's the size said it all, Nadine, didn't it?
Yeah, it's I couldn't, if there would be funk, I would have tried. But actually, when I'm in a record store and I buy by the cover. If there are bands, I buy by the cover actually.
Right. Okay. So I've got two more condition questions for you, Nadine. If that's okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So
UK, do I have to use the UK standard or the?
Yeah. So you can use our standard, whatever So it's
okay. Cool. Wait, I'll make you wait. Hold on. People need to see it very clear.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a 12-inch, right? And this is by an artist called Clausel. The track's called "Let Me Love You." Right. Now you can see the issues with the label, Nadine.
Tiny issues.
Right. But this tune it's a banger. It's brilliant. Yeah. So this isn't something that comes up too often. However, I saw it in a box of records in amongst a load of Soul 12 inches, and this one jumped out at me because it's a two-step banger, right? So if you wouldn't mind, could you play a little clip of that?
Yeah, sure. I already looked it up. Oh.
There we go.
It's great,
Right.
John. I have to admit
Okay.
it. It's good.
So despite all the the graffiti on the label, yeah, that's got to be one to pick up, hasn't it? Right. Okay. So
Need to have that. Did they release a whole album or just a 12-inch?
I think there's just a few singles. You know, I don't think there's an album. I think there's only just a few tracks, but that's the tune to have. So
Yeah.
So then, okay, so there's one more, and I must admit, when I bought this record, I didn't know this version, but I knew the song. So the song is "Love Don't Strike Twice," which is by the Blackbirds. Donald Byrd. Now I found this, I say, in the same shop, and this is quite an expensive record. However, this, yeah, that's right, Lawrence. Yeah.
Wait,
absolutely.
I make you big for that. Hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just try and find the right thing. So this is a track called "Love Don't Strike Twice," originally by the Blackbirds. This is a lovers rock version. This is where the reggae thing comes in, Nadine. You know, so this is by an artist called Richie DJ. Right. Now the issue with this record is that it goes for quite a lot of money, but this record is scratched. Okay. So what do you do, Nadine? Right. So
you ignore it and buy it.
So that's the label, and it has a scratch on it. I mean, you can see the scratch. I want to try and get this scratch on. Hey, there you go. Look at that scratch.
Okay, yeah, but it's a deep scratch. So do you hear that while you play it? Can you feel it?
Okay, you can see the scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So okay. So to be fair, there's a deck in the shop. So I played the record through to see what it sounded like. It doesn't jump. Towards the end of the one track, it ticks, and the start of the next track, there's a tick as well. Okay, but it doesn't jump, it doesn't pop, it doesn't, explode with sound, sort of thing. But there's a definite tick there, and there's clearly a visible, scratch on the record. Yeah, that's perfect.
Wait, hold on, I'll make it big again.
Look at that. You can see that scratch on the record. So what do you do, Nadine? Do you buy the record because it's got a massive scratch on it? Or do you leave it behind? So what happened was I gave it to the guy in the shop, the guy's priced up the records, and said, "What do you want for this?" And he looked at it. It looked on Discogs. He said, "Oh, this is quite an expensive record, so whatever." And I said, "Well, look at this scratch.
Yeah.
It's got a proper scratch on it." So he gave it to me for less than the bottom price on Discogs. Okay. So my logic then was, I know it doesn't jump. I know it ticks a bit. So the worst case scenario is I take it home. I'm not happy with it, and I sell it on. Being honest about the condition, it's mint minus, and and just sell it to somebody in Germany.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So So I figured that would be the way to go, you know. So yeah. So anyway, do you want to have a listen?
Yeah, it's what is DJ Richie? Did you say that?
Yeah. So the track's called "Love Don't Strike Twice," and if you just type in Richie after it, you'll get it.
Don't
strike twice. Yeah.
Strike. Sorry, strike
right,
twice. I found it by the Blackbirds, but you said it's from Richie.
Yeah, Richie DJ.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it. Okay.
I got it. You know that I now need to have it, right?
Did you like that? Because that's a bit reggae.
Yeah.
You said earlier when you didn't like reggae, you know.
I liked it very much. I liked it very much. How much is it if you want it in not your condition, but in real BG Plus?
You mean not my not mint
Not
mine?
your condition.
In mint. Okay, so in mint, it's probably about 100 quid in mint.
Wow. Okay, for 12-inch. Wow.
Yeah. At least 100 quid. So I paid about a tenner for it, and it plays great. Really good, no bother at all, but it does tick at the end of the track and at the start of the next track. So the difference to me is £90 ultimately.
Wow.
So the shop base said we can't sell it online because it's got a big scratch on it, and that was the deal. So I bought it for a tenner, and I think it sounds great. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Cobra. So yeah.
Hold on, I'll make you big.
There you go, Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Cobra. He drinks Cobra.
I do drink Cobra, yeah.
So, in my opinion, if you find a rare record and it has some damages, and you know that you won't find this record in any time soon, I'll buy it. And maybe there's a chance I can upgrade it somehow. But to me, I'll buy it then. If I can afford it in that moment, sometimes it's like, wow, crazy.
Yeah.
All right, you cheated.
What are you drinking, Nadine?
I drank, and it's empty now, Fireball. Do you know Fireball in the UK?
So what's in that?
That's whiskey which tastes like cinnamon with apple juice.
Don't know about that.
It's a women thing. Women love that.
That's it. I like cinnamon. I like apple juice. I like whiskey. It sounds all right. It sounds good, but yeah.
Women
Couldn't
like
have too
that.
many of those, Nadine.
And it comes on my
nose. Too many of those.
But it's empty already, and I drank the whole cup. So
yeah.
Hopefully, I don't need to drive anymore. So yeah. All right. So you cheated with 3. So in the meantime,
sorry about that.
No problem. In the meantime, I had to pick up 3, and this was my latest one I got, which actually one of the singers was also on the camp of Patrick Adams, and the group was called. Wait, hold on, I make myself big. We need to spell that correctly. I have no sex on the stream. It's called. You can see that Say.
Yeah.
And of course, the women who are on the cover are not the one who are singing.
Of course.
Of course. And this is like, I would say it's Euro disco. It was done in the 70s. Don't get me wrong, 1979 on Vanguard. And this is a typical, there are 4 tracks on this record. They're quite long, 7 minutes, one is 8 minutes, and this is a typical dance record. And I would say, let's play the first track of Who Say. It's very, very accurate that you spell that correct, John. Who Say. There's a remix to it. The Naked remix. No, we won't be hearing the Naked remix. We hear the album version.
Yeah.
Not the...
I'll get the stream taken down that way.
Yeah. So, John, typical Euro disco, I would say.
Yeah, I love that. So, and that's what's great, Nadine, is that you're just showing straight disco records. Nobody shows disco records. You know, anybody that's showing soul or funk music or whatever, on YouTube, they're showing soul and funk records. Nobody's showing disco records. That's brilliant. I love that. Yeah, that's really cool.
So this is, yeah, that's a typical dance thing you put on when you had parties at home.
Yeah, so I did a video. Obviously, I don't do live streams, but I did a video probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and I basically titled it "Disco is not a dirty word," because I just showed 10 disco records, and that's the the vibe that most people get is that disco it's cheap or it's it's inferior some way to whatever music you're talking about. But it's great, I love disco music. I love Saturday night music. I love music that makes me want to, obviously I don't dance. I mean, you can imagine me dancing, but I mean, just Saturday night music. It's brilliant. Love it. Yeah, disco is very misunderstood. Absolutely. Yeah. I love disco music. And
it's so much more than just Bee Gees and, Donna Summer. And she did also great. I mean, Donna Summer invented electronic music together with Giorgio. So there are some great things that came out of that. So disco is not just cheap production. It was mainly cheap production, but there were also some great stuff. So while in the meantime we were listening, like I said, you cheated. I had to. How many beers are you drinking? And
Sorry?
I need to have my whiskey bottle up here for next time. Really, I'm empty. I'm running.
I love going on live streams. It means that I don't get any hassle from my my family, so they're all in another room, and I can just sit here and drink in comfort without any bother. So I do always drink quite a lot, if I'm honest with you.
That's a great idea. Next time I have my whiskey bottle and my apple juice up here right next to me, and while we play the music, we secretly get our stuff up here. That's great. All right. The next thing I just picked up here is the impressions with 3D Hard Way. this is a reissue.
Yeah.
The Impressions did the soundtrack to this. I make myself big. I've learned from Rachel that I need to make myself big if I present something. So this is the gatefold. It's just one record, but the sticker says it's the original soundtrack recording of the 1974 blaxploitation movie directed by Gordon Parks Jr. and starring Jim Brown, Fred Williamson. Fred Williamson was like in each and every movie of them, and Jim Kelly. 8 super cool tracks with the usual great and groovy arrangement. This album was originally released by Kurtum Buddha, and it's an audiophile remastering, whatever that means, new artwork and deluxe gatefold. And this is I bought this back for 20 euro. And this is just an absolutely great record. And let's have a listen. What shall we hear from this? You know that album, of course. You know that album.
Yeah, I have that album. Yeah, it's a great blaxploitation record.
Yeah,
it's interesting that they've done it with a different sleeve though.
Yeah, this came out in 2001.
Okay.
And I actually bought that one. I even have the price sticker from back then on. So I bought that about 22 years. Oh no, let's talk about this.
Yeah, 22 years ago, blimey.
The Impressions. Okay, let's hear Three the Hard Way. Come on. So we hear one track of them. All right, let's hear it.
It happened once before, can't let it happen again. To another race of human beings, this time we're gone away. You'll always find some people willing to give their lives. Here today, gone tomorrow, the teacher still survives. Hey, Jack, mister, just to name a few. If in your life they weren't involved, what would you do? So brother, help each other. These words I say, yeah. Following the footsteps of these who stood tall. Know the hard world against them, they don't play. Ha! Free the hard way, yeah. Yeah.
Mixed up a solution, it was made to react. But if we stick together, it won't work, that's a fact.
All right. I must
So
say,
Nadine,
yeah.
Who was that produced by?
Hold on for a second. Written, recorded, special thanks, arranged for Kurtum. Hold on, maybe it's on the record. I have it in my gatefold protection covered, to keep the near mint condition. Oh, look, he has also some pictures. Actually, the label is pretty empty. But maybe someone in the peanut gallery is fast enough to check out the unprepared question by John, who produced this album. But it's not.
Is it
produced by Rich Tofu and Laurel Simon?
Right. Okay. So Curtis,
yeah. Oh
Curtis,
man, you were right.
Didn't have a hand in it then, no.
Thanks, Doc. Thank you very much. All right, now I'm a little torn between my last records. I'm a little torn between. I'll make myself big. Like I said, I just grabbed them because John, cheated a little bit, but I don't want to point out between God's Girls singing the gospel. I mean, look at those hairstyles.
Man, I'd buy that. I'd buy that in a shop. Look at that.
Yes. Or Carolyn Franklin.
Yeah, it's a great record. I love that record.
She is. I wish she would have had the career she deserved. I mean, seriously. Eutomia, everything. Her cover version of this is just great. But you know what? Let's give God Girls a try. So God Girls, I love this album from the beginning to the end, and there's a version, Come to the Bright Glory, and I do hope, I don't think, let's see. No, unfortunately with those records, you won't find them on YouTube, but I may have ripped that one song. Hold on for a second. I'll be right with you. It's a little unprepared. But God's Girls. So hold on. How can I share this? Okay, hold on. Music. God's Girls. No, I unfortunately can't share my my WAV file with you. Otherwise, the sound would be horrible. But Come to the Bright Glory is actually a cover version of the Jackson 5's I'll Be There, and to just put in the lyrics to it.
If you're gonna play a clip of Carolyn Franklin then.
Yes, of course. That's
that'd be
Carolyn
cool.
Franklin is just awesome. So from Chain Reaction or some other things, Right On, Carolyn Franklin, Right On. Carolyn Franklin, Right On. All right. So.
Turns me on, baby, right on me, right on. Ain't no mistake, you just go right on. You make it like I like it. 10 little things that really turn me on, baby, right on me. You're like a refreshing shower after
I also need to play Going in Circles, which is mostly known from Isaac Hayes, but you need to also listen to her version for a while.
I'm a never-rolling wheel without a destination real. I'm a never-spinning cloud, whirling around till I drown. Oh, but what am I to do? What am I to do? My mind, me a little more. One small thing to cling to. Going in circles. Oh,
So I needed to play that. She really, you know, she could sing.
That sounds great. Yeah, so I'll have to dig that record out. But I've got that album. But yeah, that's a real sort of moody soul record, isn't it? I love that. Great tune.
Well, we discuss that later on when the next stream is coming up and give you guys the dates. So maybe some more little questions, suggestions for the next episode. Otherwise, we would wrap it up and hope you enjoyed the stream. Stunning, yes, Doug. It's Carolyn Franklin. If you find some kind of records of her, Baby Dynamite or whatever, just go and grab it. They aren't so expensive, so very, very great tunes. So, John, what will be your next video about?
Next video about? I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. Probably I bought a lot of records recently, so probably just a straightforward vinyl finds video of soul and reggae records, basically. Yeah, so that'll be my next video. Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen it already, I've done a pub video with Headley and James Griffiths. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe doing a stream about Alex Konstantinos. Okay, yeah, maybe. What else do we have? Retro Disco from Indonesia. Oh, that might have been interesting. Getting those up here is very, very difficult. It was great. All lights were dimmed automatically when it was played. Yeah, Loki, it sure was. Great show. Look forward to the next stream. Yes. What else? Yes, Cerrone. Oh, he did a great track with Jocelyn Brown on an album in 82 or 83. That was, I always wanted to get hold of the Cerrone record. So, John, do you have any Jamaican pressings of reggae?
Yeah, I do. I have quite a lot, actually. Yeah, so yeah, just where I am in Birmingham. So obviously we've got quite a large West Indian population. So, well, certainly back in the day we did. So, you know, those records tend to turn up. So I'm quite lucky from that point of view. It's only the same, I suppose, a bit as being in London. You know, you'd those sort of records turn up. But you know, Jamaican pressings, you're always talking about, you know, quality, aren't you? You know, some of them sound great, some of them sound awful. But what are you going to do?
Actually, quality is not so important to me. It's you know, I'm like we said in the beginning before we went live. I'm not actually an audiophile person. Like with the gospel records, some of them back then they hadn't had the equipment to record professionally or anything. Some of them really are tough to hear, but the music is just tremendously good.
But that's the charm of it, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
You know, that gospel group, they're not Steely Dan. You know, they're not sitting there with the best musicians and the best kit going. You know, they're not making Asia, but they are. You know, they're making a record as well as they can at that moment in time. You know, I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. I need a refill. And
I think I've had enough.
So next time I need to have my bar up here somewhere under the table. Yeah. And John Peel, love them. You sound like John Peel. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So anything with some Philly Solomon Brook. Oh yeah. Burning Street. Maybe we could do for next month episode. We need to include a Philly record.
Yeah, Philly records. That's cool.
A Philly record, one Philly record, and two other because Eve is more into the modern stuff. So, but I think maybe one Philly record, and I love the sound. John, don't take one from the 3 degrees. Just leave them.
I won't. Don't worry, I won't.
Okay, thank you. All right. So thanks everybody for watching. It has been a great show. Enjoyed it very, very much. John, fantastic selection, and I can't thank you enough for doing this stream with me. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been great fun. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I've had an hour away from the family as well, so I could just sit here and drink for an hour and talk about soul records. Brilliant. This is like the best hour of the week for me. This is.
All right. So exactly. So your wife is coming up, and he's having every night he's having a live stream.
That's right. Yeah. I sit here on my own in silence for most of the time while talking to my
Oh, that's great. So yeah, next time Eve will be back. I hope so. Like I said, she has an emergency. We don't have details, but I think she will be great. We're wishing her all the best. So once again, a big thank you, and we see you next time with the episode 6 of the SoulStream. Have a great week.